We're back with day 2 math lesson, and we are studying money, and we're learning about quarters, nickels, dimes, and pennies. And yesterday we talked about their worth, and we talked a little bit about what they look like and their sizes. So we have the smallest one that we will use in first grade, which is a dime, and it's worth 10 cents. Then we have the next bigger one. It's a penny, it's bronze, and it's worth 1 cent. Then we have our nickel. It's a little bit bigger than a penny. It is worth 5 cents, and it's silver. And the biggest one we will use in first grade is our quarter, and it's worth 25 cents, and it's silver. So when we count dimes, because they are worth 10 cents, we count them by tens. Pennies, because they are worth 1 cent, we count by ones. Nickels are worth 5 cents, we count by fives. And quarters are worth 25 cents, and we count by 25s. That's the easiest one we use. 25, 50, 75, 100. That's the easiest one. Okay. So yesterday we talked about their worth, what they look like, and we counted a little bit of money. Today we're going to learn that we can exchange one coin for a set of a different coin, and they can be equal. For example, 1 nickel is 5 cents is equal to 5 pennies, which is also 5 cents. If I have 1 nickel, I have 5 cents. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pennies, I have 5 cents. So if I had a nickel and I wanted pennies, I would say, hey, I'll give you this nickel if you'll give me 5 pennies back, and we still have the same amount of money. We can do that with dimes. If I have 1 dime, I have 10 cents. Now, I can exchange my dime for 2 nickels, because 2 nickels are also 10 cents. 5 cents plus 5 cents is 10 cents. So 1 dime is 2 nickels. How many pennies would 1 dime be worth? You guys tell me. 1 dime would equal how many pennies? Good job, 10 pennies, because that would be 10 cents in 1 dime, and if I had 10 pennies, that would also be 10 cents, as is 2 nickels, okay? So, we're going to do a little practice with that. If I have 1 dime, how many pennies do I have? We just answered that one. Good job, 10 pennies. Because 1 dime is 10 cents, pennies are 1 cent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cents. 1 dime equals how many nickels and how many pennies? We know that a nickel is worth how much? Float into your hand. Release it. Good job. 5 cents. So there's 5 cents. Pennies are worth 1 cent. Very good. So 5 cents, 6 cents, 7 cents, 8 cents, 9 cents, 10 cents. This is 10 cents. This is 10 cents. We have 1 nickel. And how many pennies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 dime, which is 10 cents, is equal to 1 nickel and 5 pennies, which is also 10 cents. This would be a lot more fun if we were here in the classroom playing with our play money. So if your parents are okay with it, get your money out, your change, and play with it, and play some games with it. And work on this. Work on making one coin equal to other coins. So we're going to switch to the next page really quick. All right. This one says you can show the same amount of money using different groups of coins. So the children each want to buy a ball. This ball is 14 cents. We have 3 of them. They're all 14 cents. Each child wants to buy a ball. I'll pay with pennies. So how many pennies do you think we have here? Good job. We probably have 14. Let's check and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 cents. He's paying with all pennies. The little girl says, I'll pay with 2 nickels and 4 pennies. If she has 2 nickels and 4 pennies, does she have 14 cents? Let's check and see. Nickels are worth 5 cents, so 5, 10, pennies are worth 1, 11, 12, 13, 14. She does have 14 cents. And this little boy says, I'll pay with 1 dime and 4 pennies. Does 1 dime and 4 pennies equal 14 cents? We can check it out. How much is a dime worth? Throw it into your hand. Release it. Great job. 10 cents. Pennies are worth 1, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1 dime and 4 pennies is also equal to 14 cents. They all have 14 cents, but they all have different combinations of coins to make 14 cents. All right, let's flip over to our next page. All right, we're going to complete. The stamp is blank cent. If we're going to buy this stamp, we need 1 dime. How much is a dime worth? Throw it in your hand. Release it. Great job. 10 cents. A stamp is worth 10 cents. I wish it was. All right. The apple is how many cents? We have a dime, and a nickel. Now, if it would help you out and make it easier, you can write how much it's worth right above it, and then just count it out. We learned how to do this in mental math. So 10, 20 plus 5, 25. The apple is 10, 25, 25 cents. All right, number 16, the pencil is, we have 2 nickels, so those are worth 5. How much are pennies worth again? I can't remember. Throw it in your hand. Release it. 1. Great job. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 5 plus 5 is 10. We can count by 5. 5, 10. Then we're going to count up 1 at a time. So 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The pencil is 15 cents. And the ball of string, we have a nickel, which is 5. We have pennies, which are 1. We're just going to count on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 cents. Now I noticed that the pencil and the string are both worth the same amount, 15 cents. But we have 2 different combinations here. I could think of another combination that we don't have here. Can you think of it? If we just had 2 coins, what 2 coins would we have to equal 15 cents? Think about it. I think you guys probably know. If we had 1 dime, I'll draw it, and 1 nickel, would we have 15 cents? Yes, we would. So, we could have this combination, or this combination. Just a dime and a nickel would be 15 cents. So there are lots of different combinations when you have money. Now, I want you to get your student workbook out. Get your student workbook out and turn to page 212. Okay. Skip count by 5s, then count on. So it's giving us an example. These are all nickels and 1 penny. So we know that a nickel is worth how much? Throw it into your hand. Release it. Great job. 5 cents. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 plus a penny is 1, 26. Count on from the coin with the greatest value. That's our biggest value. Count on by 10s for dimes. Count on by 5s for nickels. Count on by 1s for pennies. The hardest part about this, looking on paper, sometimes all the coins look the same on paper because they're not the right color. So we have to pay close attention to what we're looking at. This first one is a dime. Okay, so we have a dime. The rest are pennies. So if it would help, you can write how much a dime is worth. Tell me how much a dime is worth. Great job, 10 cents. And pennies, what are pennies worth? 1 cent. You can go ahead and draw it out if it would help you. That's perfectly fine. So we have 10 and we're going to count on 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, down here at the bottom, looks like we have a dime, 2 nickels, and 3 pennies. So let's write how much our dime is worth. How much is our nickel worth? 5 cents. And our pennies are 1. So we're going to count. We're going to start with our biggest value, which is 10. 10 plus 5. Great job. 15. 15 plus 5 more. 20. 21, 22, 23. 23 cents. Good job. All right, let's go to our next page. Okay. This says, you need 10 of me to make a dime. Who am I? So it's a little riddle. You need 10 of me to make a dime. They gave us a penny, a nickel, or a dime, and we're supposed to circle the right answer. We know that if we're going to make a dime with 10 other coins, it has to be pennies, because pennies are worth 1 cent. So yeah, pennies, that's our example. 10 pennies is the same as 1 dime. They are both equal to 10 cents. I am silver colored. You need 2 of me to make 10 cents. What am I? Well, let's look at our coins. I am silver colored. Dimes are silver, pennies are not. We know it's not a penny. Nickels are silver, quarters are silver. You need 2 of me to make 10 cents. Well, 1 dime is 10 cents, so it's not a dime. A quarter is 25. We know it's not a quarter. A nickel is 5. If we have 2 nickels, do we have 10 cents? Yes, because 2 nickels would be 5 10. So it has to be the nickel. All right, 17. 2 of me has a value of 20 cents. Who am I? I bet you guys already know this. So if we have 2 quarters, do we have 20 cents? No. 1 quarter is more than 20 cents, so we know it's not a quarter. 2 dimes. How much is 2 dimes? If dimes are worth 10 and we had 2, how much would we have? We would have 20 cents. Might be the dime, but let's check our other coins just to make sure they're not trying to fool us. 2 of me has a value of 20 cents. If we had 2 pennies, would we have 20 cents? No. If we had 2 nickels, would we have 20 cents? No, we would have 10 cents. But if we had 2 dimes, we would have 20 cents. So this one is dimes. Good job, guys. Find how many of each coin are needed. Fill in the blanks. Okay. 8 cents. How many dimes? How many nickels? How many pennies? This could vary, okay? I'll put an answer that we come up with on the board. You may have a different answer that's also correct. Have Mom and Dad help you with that, okay? If it's 8 cents, would I have any dimes? Because if I have a dime is worth 10 cents. So I only need 8. I don't need any dimes. Okay? Could I have some nickels? I could, because a nickel is worth 5 cents. Okay? So if I had 1 nickel, that would be 5 cents. If I had 2 nickels, 5, 10, that would be 10 cents. That would be too much. So let's have 1 nickel. 1 nickel is 5 cents. I need to get to 8. If I have 5, how many pennies do I need to get to 8? Well, we can count on. Pop 5 in your head, count up to 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8. How many pennies do I need? 3 pennies. So if I have 1 nickel and 3 pennies, do I have 8 cents? I I do, because 1 nickel is worth 5 cents, and 3 pennies is worth 3 cents, and 5 plus 3 more is 8. All right, 17 cents. That's a big one. If I have a dime, I won't have more than 17 cents. So I could have a dime in this situation. I could have 1 dime, which would be 10. If I had 2 dimes, that would be 20, which would be too much. So let's have 1 dime. If I have 1 dime, I have 10 cents. I have to get all the way to 17. So I have a dime, 10 cents. And let's say I add a nickel. 1 nickel is 5 cents. Okay, so now I have 1 dime, 1 nickel. 10 plus 5, okay? 10 plus 5, we all know is, blow it into your hand, release it. 15, great job. I'm not at 17 yet, I gotta get to 17. So I have 15 cents. 1 dime, 1 nickel is 15 cents. I need to get to 17. How many pennies do I need? 2, great job. All right, so just to help make a little more sense of this number, 19, that is 17 cents. 1 dime, here's my little dime, is worth 10 cents. 1 nickel, a little bit bigger, is worth 5 cents, and 2 pennies are both equal 1 cent. So 10, 15, 16, 17, 17 cents. 1 dime, 1 nickel, 2 pennies. All right, flip over to page 214. Find how many of each coin are needed. Fill in the blanks. Okay. 22 cents for the little mass. 22 cents. I know that a dime is worth 10 cents. Nickels are worth 5 and pennies are worth 1. Now, if I want to get to 22 cents, I have dimes that are worth 10 cents. I can do 1 dime that's worth 10. I can do 2 dimes, which would be 10, 20. Let's do that. Let's do 2 dimes. Okay, so I have 2 dimes. I'll draw me some dimes. They're both worth 10. Now I want to get to 22, but I don't want more than 22. So if I add a nickel, that would be how much? 5. Very good. If I add 10 plus 10 is 20 plus 5, it would be 25. Do I need any nickels? No. I don't have 22 yet. 2 dimes, no nickels. How many pennies do I need to get to 22? I have 10, 20. How many pennies do I need? Blow it in your hand. Release it. 2, very good. So if I have 2 dimes and 2 pennies, remember pennies are worth 1, I have 10, 20, 21, 22. You can do that a different way. You can do it with 1 dime, which is 10. Okay, I have 10. I can add some nickels. Okay, nickels are worth 5 cents. So if I add 2 nickels, now I have 2 nickels. I have 10, 15, 15 plus 5 is 20. Now I have 20. I need to get to 22 and I'm at 20. How many pennies do I need? Good job, 2. 2 pennies. Those are both equal 1 each. Now I have 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. 21, 22. So I could have 1 dime, 2 nickels, and 2 pennies. Okay, there's more than one way to do this. I'm going to let you guys do the last 3 all by yourself. If your parents would let you get some change out and play with it to finish this out, you can put more than one way on here if you want to, okay? I would ask though, when you write your coins out, write them like this. All your circles can be the same size. Just tell me how much each is worth inside. If it's a penny, put 1. If it's a nickel, put a 5. And if it's a dime, 10, okay? You can show me one way to get it, you can show me 2 ways to get it, you can show me 3 ways, okay? But I want you guys to do this bottom part independently as you can. Alright, that wraps up today's math lesson. I hope it helped out, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye guys.